do shirt companies do this? If they want to have bows on their shirts, especially pointless bows, like, ugh, just sew them on. Oh, I think I'm getting it. Okay, hold it. Woo. Okay, that's gonna have to be good enough. Hello friends, welcome back to Board Game Buzz. My name is Carly, and today we are finally getting to the Board Game Buzz Q&A that I talked about, I feel like 2 months ago over on my Instagram channel. But a couple months ago, I posted over on Board Game Buzz on Instagram asking people if they had any questions or anything that they would like to specifically ask me about. Because I am a new channel, I feel like I've been getting like a lot of kind of random questions about me and my life, or games I suggest, or a bunch of different stuff. So I thought it would be easiest and simplest just to put it all together in a big Q&A video. So that is what we are going over for today. I meant to do this like last month and life just got crazy. There was like the level up retreat, and then I got a couple of board games, so I had to do the reviews on the board games, and then we unexpectedly kind of went on a family vacation to Yellowstone. So it's been a summer. But I'm so excited to finally get to these questions. Let's do this thing. So these questions are from people who commented on my Instagram post, people who private messaged me, and also some random questions that were also posted onto some of my YouTube videos. So I really hope I got all of them. If I didn't though, please feel free to comment below and ask your questions. I will be reading through all the comments and answering as many as I can. So yes, I really hope I didn't skip over any questions that were asked to me specifically though. So the first question is from Board Game Feast. What is your favorite game night snack? I love snacks in regards to board games, but it also seriously stresses me out. The grease and the crumbs and everything, it stresses me out. So if I'm with a group that is like very conscious and very like, still treats the game very nice, then yes, I love having snacks with board games. I really love like cheese and crackers, like I never know how to pronounce it. Is it charcuterie? I don't know how you pronounce it. Whatever that is, I love like charcuterie boards. I think they are so fun. I'm obsessed with them. I love them. I also love like spinach artichoke dip. So any sort of like cheese and crackers or like dips with chips, like I am all about that. That's my favorite. Ordinary Board Gamer says a board game theme you'd love to see more in games. I'm trying to think. I feel like so many themes are often used. I really like Western themed board games and just Western theme in general. Something about it is just super cool in my opinion, and I feel like we don't really see a lot. Like there are, a handful of board games that have really strong Western themes, but not a lot. I would like to see more Western ones for sure. So Tim says, what made you decide on starting to create content and your dream gaming day go? So what made me start to decide to create content was actually our move. So before we lived here in Connecticut, we actually lived up in Maine. And when we moved from Maine, we lost our gaming group, we lost all of our gaming ties, we kind of lost everything. And so we came down here, and the first month we were here, I was like, oh my goodness, I'm so alone. Since then we've kind of found a handful of people to play games with. But when we were first here, I was like, okay, I still want to connect with this community. And I feel like I had some good thoughts and a good eye for certain types of things. And I also kind of saw stuff that I could bring to the hobby to kind of, I don't know, I don't want to say spice it up a little bit, but just kind of bring a new perspective in. And so, right after we moved, I was like, all right, let's do this. And so I started thinking pretty seriously about it, and what I would do, and started thinking about names and designing logos and stuff. So really it was the move that kind of catapulted me into doing content creation. And like I said, I just kind of want to bring my own spin and a different perspective to the hobby. So I hope that's coming across. As far as my dream gaming day, Tim, this is actually totally because of you that I have this thought. But in one of your videos in the past, you talked about your dream gaming day and how it was to play War of the Ring with the Lord of the Rings cast. Literally ever since you said that, I have been obsessed with that idea. Absolutely obsessed. I will hold the microphone and just sit and just watch while you guys play War of the Ring. That would be absolutely incredible. It would be amazing. So that would definitely be my dream gaming day for sure. The Sassy Lady says, what board game have you found that is more stressful than joyful, and which board game brings you a more calm and peaceful feeling? My go-to board game when it comes to having just a calm, relaxing night is definitely Cascadia. I love Cascadia because there's nothing, there's no wrong move necessarily. You can never be well, crap, I'm out the whole game that. There's nothing I can do. There's always something you can do. It might not be your best move, but you're never not going to be able to do anything. And so yeah, I really enjoy Cascadia. It's definitely calm, peaceful, just slowly building out your little ecosystem. As far as a board game that that I found is more stressful, it's so funny because I feel like I'm actually I don't consider myself a sore loser by any sense of the word. Whenever I play games, I really just want people to have fun. However, there is one game that I don't know why I get so triggered by it every time I lose, but it's actually Magic the Gathering. And I really enjoy Magic the Gathering, but something about it, when I lose, I get physically angry. I don't know why, because I'm normally not like that. Really, Magic is the only game that I have that kind of pure anger in my soul when I lose. And I don't know if it's just because in Magic, your hand, so much depends upon the cards you pull. So I mean, there's definitely been games where I just I pull a mana, and then I pull another mana, and then I pull another mana, and I'm where are my cards? And then meanwhile, Jordan across the table is getting the perfect combination, exactly what he needs, and he just kills me. And so that's when I get so frustrated, because I was if I would have just gotten different cards, I wouldn't have gotten completely pummeled. So I do tend to get angry over Magic, which is the only game that I actually get angry over. But I still really like it. It makes me angry when I lose for some reason. Cat Eyes Game says, what is your favorite and least favorite mechanism? So my most favorite is worker placement, probably worker placement and tile placement. I love the puzzle in those games. It just works with my brain, and I'm able to kind of figure out the puzzle, and I really like it. As far as my least favorite mechanism, probably limited communication. Most of the time when I hear a game has limited communication, I kind of have my interest level just drops dramatically, because I feel when I'm at a table, I just want to be able to sit around and talk and have a good time and talk about the game, and just I don't know. And maybe just I have yet to play a good game that deals with limited communication. Some games I enjoy it, in Mysterium, how the ghost can't talk but everybody else can. That's super thematic to the game, and for me, I don't know, it works because at least most of the people are talking. But yeah, in games where everybody can't say something, or I don't know, it usually kind of bothers me. So Sweet Victory Games Official says, what was the first board game that made you get into board games? So that's Lost Ruins of Arnak. That was the first game I bought, and ever since then I've been completely hooked and addicted. So yes, Lost Ruins of Arnak. Jeremiah here has actually a few questions. So the first one was, what other hobbies and passions, or what are your other hobbies and passions, and how, if at all, do they inform you in your game choices? So I have quite a few hobbies. I love reading. I kind of write a little bit. I need to get back into that for sure. I love kayaking, sea glass hunting. My biggest passion, or something that I love to do the most, is travel, which obviously I can't do all the time, but when I do, when I am able to travel, I love doing it. Whether it is, internationally or, just in America, I just love traveling and experiencing different cultures and seeing how other people live their life. It's something that I'm very passionate about. I also really love like interior decorating. I don't know if I'm any good at it, but I love decorating like just my home, and I love decorating for like the holidays and for birthdays and just everything. I like to kind of go all out, and I like to make things pretty and make things fun. As far as how my hobbies inform my board game choices, well, kind of like I said, I'm like a very visual person. I love things that look pretty and look aesthetically pleasing. So that's definitely reflected in my board games. If a board game has beautiful artwork, I am like way more likely to I'm just automatically drawn to it versus a game that doesn't. So again, I am definitely a self-proclaimed shallow gamer. But yeah, I think artwork and presentation is very important. And that's definitely reflected in the games that I get. Another question that Jeremiah asks is, have you had any regrets with any game you purchased? On the other side, have you positively been surprised by a game that you expected less of at first? I don't know if I have any regrets with games that I've purchased. I am very particular about the games that I add to my collection. I know some people have like 400 games, 500 games in their collection. I definitely want to keep my collection around 100. And so before I get a game, I am like researching the crap out of it, doing tons of playthroughs. I try to play the game beforehand if I can. And every game that I do add fits a specific purpose in my collection. So I am very like cautious in regards to buying games and purchasing games. Another question is there a theme that you could not resist, regardless of the mechanism or whatever else you know or not know about the game? Definitely cute little animals like Flamecraft, Everdell, just like the cute animals just completely suck me in. So like, for example, the new game that's coming out by, I believe it's Cardboard Alchemy. It's the same people who made Flamecraft. But they're coming out with a game that's going to be on Kickstarter soon called, I think it's Critter Kitchen? Is that what it's called? Critter Kitchen. Let's see. Yeah, Critter Kitchen. So yeah, like literally the moment I saw that, I know nothing about the game other than that cover. And I was like, I need that game. That's going to be an instant back for me. I am totally backing this game. I need it. I don't know anything about it, but I need it because it has the cute animals. So yeah, give me cute animals or cute artwork or something and I am sold. He also asks if he can add me on BGA. You guys are all welcome to add me on BGA if you want to. I created a separate account for Board Game Buzzz. So, and I don't have a ton of time usually, but you're welcome to add me, and if we're able to game, I'm totally down. I'll link all of the information stuff in the description below if you have any interest in that. Rio Board Gamer asks, how much gaming can you really do in a week? And that is a really great question. So usually we have like 1 or 2 game nights a week, like dedicated nights where we sit down and play games. We try to fit in a handful more games kind of throughout the week, especially during the day. Like usually the kids, I'll be like, all right, like, do you guys want to play a game? Or so we try to game as much as we can. Obviously it's hard because the kids are always so busy and always wanting to go out and go to the park. Always house stuff or yard stuff or stuff that I'm trying to balance and do. But like I said, normally we have 1 or 2 dedicated game nights a week, and then we try to throw in a handful of more games on top of that. If I'm being sent a game to review, then that's different. I like really sit down and try to like pound out like a ton of games. But yeah, just like regular day-to-day, we try to do it as much as we can. Sassy Girl 71 says, if you could live inside a board game, what board game would it be and why? As for me, it's a toss-up between Candyland for obvious reasons or Obsession for obvious reasons. Candyland would be adorable. Obsession, oh, I would love to live in Obsession. I love like the period. I love all like the period pieces. But of course, I want to like live in a period piece, but have like modern day amenities like a bathroom and vaccines and stuff like that. But yeah, if I could live inside a board game, that is a hard one. You know, I'm gonna pull up Board Game Geek here. Let's run through the hot games list and let's see if any kind of stand out. It's just hard because there's so many. Oh my goodness. Flamecraft. I know I already mentioned it. But can you imagine Flamecraft? Like if you lived in oh my goodness, with the dragons. Okay, like just having like a cute little dragon with you, and dragons like you go to the bakery and you have a dragon that's like making your bread. Okay, yeah. Yeah, if I could live in a board game, it'd be Flamecraft. For sure, it would be Flamecraft. Yep. Spiel with it says, yo Carly, what's yours and your daughter's favorite game? And which game are you most excited to play with her when she's leveled up? So my favorite game was Lost Ruins of Arnak. I've mentioned it. Well, I'm probably going to mention it multiple times throughout this video. My daughter's favorite game is probably a toss-up between Mysterium and Quacks of Quedlinburg. She is always asking to play those. But, you know, she's also asking... We've also been playing a lot of Cover Your Cookies from Grandpa Beck. If you don't know what this is basically the same game of Cover Your Assets by Grandpa Beck, but it's just like a crumble version, so it's all cookies. So it's like absolutely adorable. So we've been actually playing quite a bit of this lately, so this actually might be her new favorite. As far as a game that I am looking forward to playing with her, probably Wingspan, because she loves birds. Like every time she sees like a blue jay in our yard, she's like, Mom, come look, there's a blue jay in our yard, there's a cardinal in our yard. Like she's really fascinated with birds and learning about them. So I think Wingspan is gonna be one that she really likes. And she's played it with us before. When we play, she'll sit down and just like, you know, put birds in her habitats basically. So I'm excited to teach her like a full game. Bulba board game? I really hope that's how you pronounce that. Is there an IP that you would love to see in a board game? Well, it was Stranger Things, actually. For a while I was like, hey, there needs to be a good Stranger Things game. And then Simon came out with the Stranger Things Upside Down game, which I love. So other than that, I feel like so many already are out there. I'm trying to think of like some good IPs. It would actually kind of be fun because I know racing is kind of like a big thing now, or at least I'm seeing a lot of like racing games come out. It'd be cool if there was like a racing game, but like Mario Kart, because I love Mario Kart. I've always loved Mario Kart. We played on the Switch quite a bit. I think it'd be cool if there was like a Mario Kart board game somehow with like the rainbow racetrack and stuff. I don't know, that'd be cool. I feel like that'd be a cool game if it was like super chaotic with like dropping stuff and hitting other players, and I don't know. I think that'd be fun. Nightwatch says, in another video you mentioned your family thing growing up was movies. Curious what your top 10 movies would be. Oh, Nightwatch, this is like a really hard question for me. This is way harder than like my top 10 games. Top 10 movies is like almost impossible for me. Because growing up, we were always watching movies all the time. We always had a movie on. We were always like, I've seen all the movies. I feel like I've seen so many. So it's so hard to narrow down to just a top 10. But I can kind of answer by categories maybe. So like sci-fi would be Dune. And Dune might actually be my favorite movie of all time. I am obsessed with Dune. I love Dune. It is amazing. My romantic comedy, that's also kind of an easy one, About Time. About Time is my favorite romantic comedy, and I feel like it kind of went under the radar. Like, I feel like a lot of people actually don't know about this movie. If you have not seen it, you need to. It is amazing. Every New Year's Eve, it's a tradition now. Every New Year's Eve, me and my husband, we sit down and we watch About Time together. Every New Year's Eve. It's amazing. Spy movie, I love Man from U.N.C.L.E. Man from U.N.C.L.E. is incredible. It is so good. I am obsessed. I really wish they could have found a way to continue the series because it was so good. I loved it. Fantasy, definitely be like all of the Lord of the Rings, Hobbit, everything that, or everything Lord of the Rings. But I also really love Harry Potter. Like, I'm a huge Harry Potter fan. Action movies, like thriller movies. I love Tenet and Inception. I also love The Matrix. I grew up watching The Matrix. My mom and dad actually one year for Halloween, they dressed up as Neo. Oh my goodness, what is her name? Neo and whoever the girl's name. They dressed up as like the main characters, like the hair slicked back and like the black outfits. I love musicals too. Like my favorite musical of all time is definitely Les Mis, but I wasn't a huge fan of what they did in the movies with it. So I said, maybe Greatest Showman. I love Greatest Showman. That's like a great one. For scary movies is probably War of the Worlds. I love War of the Worlds with Tom Cruise. The music in War of the Worlds is so spot on. They did such a fantastic job with it. If you haven't seen War of the Worlds, you definitely need to see that one. It's an older one, but it is so good and spooky. But it's just so hard to pick because I love so many. Like I love Avatar, I love Titanic, like even like Pride and Prejudice. Like I love all the movies. It's so hard to pick. I love all of them. N.Miller39 and Martin's Story says, have you ever wanted to try making your own board game? And if so, what would the theme and type of game be? Yeah, we have. We've kind of messed around with an idea, nothing serious. But I did kind of have an idea of like having a board game that was like the Savannah and having it be a 2-player game, like one player playing the prey, and the other player playing the predator. So a little bit of a hidden movement, a little bit of, I don't know. I kind of, like I said, just kind of messing around with it. We've been messing around with it for a little bit. My Sandbox Gaming says, do you have a fancy board game table? I wish we had a fancy board game table. We don't. We just have our normal table. I really want to get like a roll-up neoprene mat to roll out for gaming nights. I think that would be really nice. But yeah, we just have a normal table. And little side tangent here, it's okay to not have a gaming table. I feel like we often see, everybody's like, yeah, get a gaming table. Everybody needs a gaming table. You feel like you need a gaming table in order to be a gamer. And that's not true. Like, normal tables are just fine. Red Hot Sand says, are you planning on going to PAX Unplugged this year? I am not. And the reason why, if you follow me over on my Instagram page, then you probably already know this. And if you're not following me over on my Instagram page, you totally should, because I post lots of stuff over there all the time. But yeah, so the reason why I'm not going to PAX Unplugged is because I'm actually 20 weeks pregnant right now. And I'm going to be giving birth around that time, so probably wouldn't be the best choice for me to go to PAX Unplugged. But I'm really hoping to start going to more conventions next year. I'm really hoping to go to Gen Con next year. So that's kind of my goal right now, is to shooting for Gen Con next year. We're getting down to some of the last questions here. A Style says, what was your gateway game? Lost Ruins of Arnak. I Willerson says, what is your go-to player color? So I'm kind of weird in regards to when I first started getting into this hobby. I realized that, most of like the player colors were red, green, yellow, and blue. And in my head, I always associate those colors, especially when they're all together. I always associate them with Hogwarts house colors. So I just would always get red because I'm like, I'm Gryffindor, like, give me red, even though it has nothing to do with the game. So I played red for a long time. That was like my color was red. But I noticed that as of late, like lots of people really like red. So that's usually and I usually let other people choose first. I realized that red is usually gone first. So I've actually started switching over to yellow because I'm like, especially like with board game Buzzz, like with the yellow bee, like I'll just be yellow. So I'm trying to like rewire my brain to like focus on yellow pieces. So yeah, I was red. I'm trying to become yellow slowly. Artistic Drama is, what has been your least favorite game that you truly thought you would love? So I really hope that I don't get people super mad by this answer, because I know this is a really well-loved game. But I really didn't like Spirit Island. But let me kind of clarify a little bit. So our very first play of it, me and my husband sat down with a couple who knew the game like inside and out. Like they played it so many times. And truthfully, I don't think they taught the game very well to us. But while we were playing, like I feel like I never quite understood how to play the game. Like even at the end, I walked away being like, I still don't quite know what I was doing. And while we were playing, I feel like they knew the game so well that they just kept like kind of taking over for us. They just kept kind of like taking over our turns and kind of doing stuff. So I just think I had a really bad first play. So I'm totally willing to play the game again. I am totally willing to learn it again and give it another shot. But yeah, I kind of had a really bad first impression of Spirit Island. So Cult Cardboard asks, a game that you wouldn't expect to be a gateway game but totally works. That's actually going to be Trekking Through History for me. I wasn't expecting it to be as light and easy as it was. And I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean that in actually a very good way. That was actually one of the reasons why I added it to my collection, because it is such an easy game. I really feel so comfortable just taking that off, setting it up and playing with people who have really never played games before. Like, that's really how accessible and how easy it was to play. And it was really fun. I really liked it, and the artwork was beautiful. It was a really great production. So yeah, Trekking Through History was one that I think is a great gateway game. And the last question that we have is by Lauren Minito, 8769. And it says, so what are your top 5 games that you just take off the shelf and want to play all the time? This one's still hard, but it's easier than top 10 movies. Games that I want to play all the time. Definitely Lost Ruins of Arnak. I feel like I never play that game enough. I love it. Jordan really likes it, but not as much as I do, so I feel like I don't play it as often as I want to. Honey Buzz. I love Honey Buzz. Honey Buzz is, I'm obsessed with like honeybees and all things bee related. I think they're just so cute. So yes, I love Honey Buzz. I feel like I'm always wanting to play Honey Buzz. Beast is another one. I feel like it's a little bit to kind of get into, and I feel like every time I play I kind of have to like remind myself the rules. But I love Beast. Every single time we play it, I'm like, okay, we gotta play this game more. We gotta table this more. The artwork and just the world building behind that game is incredible. Parks is always one that I'm like down to play and ready to play. And I play that a lot on BGA with my mom and my grandma a lot. We do a lot of Parks. So yeah, Parks is always one that I'm down to play. And then Wingspan. I feel like I can never get enough of Wingspan because every time I play, I feel like I'm building a different engine. And so I go into the next game just being like, okay, like what are we gonna build this time? Like how can I combo my cards the best way? So Wingspan is a fantastic one that I always want to play. All right, so those are all the questions that were asked to me for this Q&A. So huge shout out to all of you for asking all these questions. For my kind of new channel, I thought that this would kind of be a fun way for you to kind of get to know me a little bit more and kind of who I am behind the channel, basically. If I did happen to miss your question, I am so sorry. Or if you guys have any more questions, please go ahead and drop them below in the comments, and I will try my best to get all of them and answer them down there. Thank you so much for taking some time out of your day to watch this video. If you liked this video and you have yet to subscribe to the channel, please do so. It means so much to me and helps kind of support the channel and helps kind of keep you guys also involved in everything Board Game Buzz. I hope you have a great rest of your day today, and we will see you next time. So I just needed to pull this game out, just to further prove my point. Imagine you lived in this town where dragons are your best friends and they help you run your store, help cook your potions. Like, it is so adorable. I cannot even handle it. I mean, just look at them. Imagine just like walking down your friendly neighborhood marketplace and dragons everywhere. You even like go to your restaurant and you pull your server aside and you're like, I'm so sorry, but my soup kind of came out a little bit too cold. And they're like, oh, no problem. Well, let's go grab our handy little chef dragon and he'll come heat up your soup for you. Like, I'm sorry, this is the cutest world ever, and I need to live in it. I need that in my life. I do.